tonight we're going to talk through this Jesus telling us that he is the truth. Somebody, the truth. So what is truth? Look at your handout, top of the page there. Truth, defined by dictionary.com, is the true or actual state of a matter, conformity with fact or reality, a verified or indisputable fact, proposition, principle, or the like. In that definition, key words that stick out to me are the actual state of a matter. It's an actual state of a matter. It's an indisputable fact. Everybody say fact. Indisputable. You can't argue it. It is. And that's what truth is. Now, let's first take a look at, we're going to talk about who Jesus is the truth, but I want to read this to you. I don't know if you ever heard of a guy named Randy Alcorn. I don't know much about him. I know he's an awesome writer, but I stumbled upon this quote. I want to read this to you. Listen. He says this about Jesus' statement of being the truth. He says, truth is far more than a moral guide, okay? You can be morally good and not sleep around, not do drugs, not lie, not cheat, but still go to hell. Y'all understand that, right? Okay, Jesus is a much more than a good moral guide. Jesus declared, I'm the way, the truth, and life. No man comes to the Father except by me. He didn't say he would show the truth. He didn't say, but he did, right? He didn't say he would just teach the truth. But he did. He didn't say he would just model the truth, but he did. He is the truth. Truth personified. He is the source of all truth, the embodiment of truth, and therefore the reference point for evaluating all truth claims, because he is truth. That's a lot to digest, and I thought about putting that on your sheet, but just ran out of room. But that's huge. He is the measuring stick by which all truth is truth or not truth. He's the format. Y'all ever had a test like that little Scantron? Y'all still do Scantrons? Some of you are saying, you said no just now. Y'all do Scantrons, a little pencil number 2? Okay, and that one that they put in, it's the key. It's the answer key, right? They put that in there, and all the other ones are answered right or wrong off of that. That's Jesus. The right answer. Everything. He's truth. All right, so Jesus is the truth. What all did he mean by saying he's the truth? Well, and why is it so important? Well, number one, because it's who he is. John 1:14, actually, I'm going to read a couple verses in John 1, 1 through 3. At the beginning of the book of John, it says this about Jesus. He referenced Jesus as being the Word, okay? And it says, in the beginning was the Word. Say the Word. And the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. Jesus, okay? Verse 3, all things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made. Now, verse 14, in the same chapter, says this, and the Word, who's the Word? Okay, that's Jesus. And the Word, Jesus, became flesh and dwelt among us, and we have seen his glory. Glory as of the only Son from the Father, full of grace and what? Truth. Grace and truth. He became flesh. We know this. That's who he is. He is truth. Full of grace, full of truth. So Jesus is truth. That's who he is. Number 2, it's why he came. He came for the purpose to bear witness of the truth. Now, when he came to this earth, did he have the right and the ability and the power and the authority to not be crucified? Yes. He could have said, no, you ain't crucifying me. You're not accusing me of anything wrong because I haven't done anything wrong. But that's not the way it worked out. When he came, he allowed himself to be arrested. He allowed himself to be put on trial, judged by a bunch of liars, a bunch of hypocrites, a bunch of religious folk. He was allowed himself to be sentenced to crucifixion and murdered. All based on lies. All based on what people wanted and not what was true. Now, I read all these stats on all the laws that the Jewish people broke in order to have him crucified. Y'all wouldn't believe it. It was like, and I didn't add them all up, but it was like over 20-something laws that the Jewish people broke, and the leaders of the Jewish people broke by having him crucified. Doing it at nighttime, that was wrong against the law. Having not 2-3 witnesses there was breaking the law. There's so many laws, right? Truth laws that they broke when they had him put to death that very night. And it was the religious leaders that did that. Now, when they got done with him, they couldn't literally crucify him. So who did they turn? Here's an airhead. Who did they turn him over to have him crucified? Who said that? Very good. Good job. He was turned over to the Roman leader, Pontius Pilate, because they didn't have the ability as Jews to crucify Jesus based on what they were doing. So they came to Pilate and said, crucify him, crucify him. He said, what has he done? They came back into Jesus and he said this in John 18, verse 37. Pilate said to Jesus, so you are a king? ? And Jesus answered, you say that I am a king. For this purpose I was born, and for this purpose I have come into the world, to bear witness to the truth. Everyone who is of the truth listens to my voice. And then Pilate said to him, what is truth? I've always wondered if Pilate eventually became a follower of Jesus. History kind of leans towards that he didn't, that he actually killed himself in denial of that. But all that to say is that all these things were done to Jesus, and he allowed them to because he had to proclaim truth in his innocence, and he had to go to the cross. Truth was right there in front of Pilate, and Pilate goes, what is truth? Hello, right here, Jesus, I'm right in front of you. Truth, right in front of all the Jews, and they missed it. That's why he came. He came to the earth to reveal to mankind the truth of the gospel. All right, so he came, it's who he is. He is truth, it's why he came. And number 3, it's what he has called us to. He has called us to truth. All right, John 17:17. Now, again, this is the night before he was crucified, and he was praying for his disciples and praying for us. And he asked God, he went to the Father, he prayed, and he asked God to sanctify them. Them, disciples, us as well, followers of Jesus. Sanctify them, set them apart as holy. He sanctified them in the what? Truth. Speaking about these disciples, speaking about us, he wanted us to be set apart, holy. Now, we're called by Jesus to be holy, to be set apart in this society, in the culture we live in. So when the world is saying do this, well, do this, and you know you're not supposed to, and you're supposed to do this, you're torn to do this, you really want to do this, but you know what's right, and this is right, so we choose to be set apart from the wrong, from the world, and to be different from the world, to be sanctified to the truth. So when we make that right decision, a decision that pleases God, a decision that glorifies God, truth is known. Maybe not at that very moment, but those who desired you to go down this road and make those ugly, worldly, evil, whatever decisions, they see that maybe 10 minutes, 10 years, 50 years, they eventually know, if nothing else, at the foot of the cross or in eternity, they see that you were right. And that makes a difference. That's what we've been called to. It's who he is. It's why he came. It's what we have been called to. And lastly, it's how we know him. Again, I've kind of alluded to this, and you know this, but it's what or how we know him. John 8:32. Actually, John 8:31 and verse 32. Both of them, I want to read both those. Jesus was talking to a bunch of people that supposedly believed Jesus. We've talked about this before, and I think one of the girls' classes talked about Sunday. Believing in Jesus doesn't make you saved. It's not what allows you eternal life. The Bible says that demons believe, right? In Mark 6, I think. No, I don't know where it is. But anyway, and no, James, that's in James, I think. But they tremble. They don't, just because you believe in God doesn't mean you're a child of God. Faith, God's grace through faith is what saves you. It's Jesus what saves you. But he's turned to these Jewish people that supposedly believed. And John 8:31, he says, so Jesus said to the Jews who had believed him, if you abide in my word, you are truly my disciples. And you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. If you abide in my word, if you absorb who he is. Now, did they have the Bible at that time? No, they had the Old Testament. They didn't have the Gospels. How would they know? Well, they're looking right at the Word. Manifested, personified, Jesus, the truth, the Word. If you abide in me, he's saying, and you'll truly be my disciples. And when you'll know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Guys, I've heard people say, well, the Bible doesn't say you can't vape. Does it? Does the Bible say you can't it does say that. I mean, you can fill in the blank. There's all different, I don't want to assume anything, but you can have all these different worldly questions and uncertainties and go to the Bible and say, well, it doesn't say you can't, so I'm going to do it because I want to ride that line all the way to the edge of, it doesn't say it. Well, why would you get as far away from the question mark as you can? Honor God and please him by knowing the truth and knowing what is right and go to the Word and seeking the truth and asking God, should I do this? Should I do that? What does your Word say? And the answers are there. But you got to seek out the truth. And when you seek the truth and know the truth and abide in the truth will set you what? Free. Free. Free, 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 free. There's that commercial. We only know the truth by knowing the truth, and that truth is Jesus. Has a name named Jesus, okay? Freedom is found in no one else, in no other name than Jesus. So it's who he is, it's why he came, it's what he's called us to, and it's how we know him, the truth. So how does knowing and loving Jesus or the truth influence and impact my life? Well, for starters, I don't know if y'all noticed or not, but society and the culture you live in, they're pretty much going to hell in a handbasket. Do y'all understand that, right? I mean, seriously, it's getting bad. If I took, all right, tonight at 7:31, we're all going to enter into this big time machine outside this door here, and I'm going to take y'all back to 1988, back during the, my days. I mean, I was in 8th grade in 1988. I mean, that's like, Stranger Things times, right? Y'all seen that show? Don't voluntarily say you have. I'm just kidding if you want to. But anyway, Molly watches it, and I've seen a couple little parts of it. And she's like, that'd be so cool to live back then when they had like tape players and Walkmans and video arcades. And that was like my heyday. But if we took you back to 1988 and you walked into a high school and told somebody that in 2023, I said 21, there's going to be men walking around dressed as women and demand that you call them a woman because they identify as a woman. What do you think they would say back in 88? Yeah, right. Whatever. Probably beat you like Tyler just, okay, call you a liar, you're an idiot, get back on your dumb time machine. Or what if you would say, seriously though, and there's going to be like little teenage girls and boys that are going to like dress up like cats and like wear purry things and lick themselves and say they identify as a stinking cat. And they want a litter box at school in some of the stores so they can poop in a litter box. I mean, they would never believe it. You'd be laughed back into your time machine, okay? But on the other note, if we said, okay, now we're going to go to the future to 2000, I don't know, pick a number, 2020 or 30, what? Just say a number. 2037, okay? 2037, that's 14 years from now. I'll be in the grave, I'm sure. But anyway, and you say, you know what, in 2023, this is what happened. They're like, oh, of course. I mean, yeah, I wish we could go back to that time. That was nothing. Because look at us now. Unless you guys, me guys, you guys, old people, young people, Christians, born again children of God will stand up for what is right. Do what's right. Even though you're 13, 14, 17, 49, do the right thing. Honor God. Make morally, ethically, absolute truth decisions with your life. And God can do great things. Turn the world upside down. He did it with 12 people. He wants to do it with us. No one would believe those things. And I want that to change. And I'd love to see that start right here with you guys. So the reason, again, our society and our culture is in the sewer right now, again, blame me. Everybody say, Brother Matt, it's your fault. Say it. It really is my fault. It's my people's fault, my age group's fault. And there's many times that I was raising my 3 children and allowing them to sit in front of that square, dumb demon, that possessed box in my house called a TV, and letting them be exposed to things that they should never have been exposed to, and it's on me. Now, had I completely never had a television in my house and never exposed them to anything in the world, would my kids be weirdos? Yes, probably. They'd be more sanctified weirdos. But all that to say is that's what parenting is about. We try to filter and protect and slowly enable our children to be exposed to the world because we live in the world. We're not of the world. We live in the world. And we have to make godly decisions based off the world and what we know to be true. So when the opportunities come for us to say, okay, you know what, it's not good for me to sit in front of Stranger Things TV show. Yes, I just admitted in front of the world that my daughters watch that show in a letter. But where is she? There's parts of that show that aren't good, Molly. Would you agree? Yeah. There's parts of the songs you listen to. I was thinking through, I was talking to some people today, and if you went back in 88 and told them that there'd be one of the most popular songs in the world would pretty much glorify Satan, there's so many songs and music and movies and gore that because we have not stood up for what is right. So that brings me to this next section. Before we go any further, someone has a handout in front of you with the word absolute in all capital letters. And if you do, you get a free Taco Bell card. Who has that all capital letters? It's still, you didn't give it to? No, it's okay. Sophie, we were handing out the forms, and I told her there was another one in there. She said, well, have I given out yet? And I said, no, let's filter through, and we found it, and she found it. So it's okay. You get a Taco Bell card anyway. Because there's one truth, and what's his name? One truth. Just to remind you, there's one person that gets that Taco Bell card because the word absolute was capitalized, and she just happened to give it to herself. That's great. I'm proud of you. It's okay. I know. Yeah, that's funny. And keep it in the family. Where's Isaac? You next week? There you go. Delusional. On a serious note, I'm going to do it again next week. So don't be filtering through them, but I'm going to find a way to give that out too. But anyway, there is one way, there is one truth, and his name is Jesus, okay? Look at your handouts with me. Let's talk about absolute truth. Everybody say absolute truth. And what it means in comparison to relativism or relative truth, all right? Absolute truth, not relative truth. Absolute truth is constant. It does not change. Circumstances change, people change, but truth does not change. Methods to deliver the truth, methods of learning and can change, but the truth does not change. The message of Jesus does not change. It's so vitally important that you hear me say that. Jesus is an absolute truth, and it does not change. And it should overflow. That aspect, there's a word in the back of my brain, 49 left me. That whole mentality, there it is, that whole mentality that Jesus doesn't change and that he is absolutely true should overflow into every part of our Christian lives, or at least we want it to in your life as well as ours. God and his word are constant, they never change. Also, absolute truth is objective. Everybody say objective. How many of y'all have ever struggled like on tests and stuff to differentiate between objective and subjective? Am I the only one that took me like years to figure that out? Okay. So you got it figured out? Okay, so subjective, something is subjective, it means it's based off of your opinion. It's subject to change, okay? Objective means it's factual, okay? So absolute truth is factual, it's objective, it's not an opinion, all right? Get your phones out. Do we have time to do this, Luke? How much time will it take? Hurry, pull up Kahoot, hurry. Yes, quickly, it's a great lesson. Pull up Kahoot, hurry. If you don't have it, just friend. It's out there under the white thing in there. Well, it's in there. I saw it out there. All right, pull up Kahoot. Pull up 223-5699. Quickly. Keep your names. If you don't have Kahoot, just cheat off or use a friend's or help them. Come on. We got a little time tonight. Oh, it's too late for that. I'll give you it later. Here we go. Y'all still in? We good? Hurry. We got time for everybody. Hurry. Here we go. Still waiting? This is going to be great. This is great. I love it. We got it? Come on. Boom. Rachel's got a Bro Matt one. Who's Bro Matt? Turds. Not me. Huh? Oh, there's one and two. Here we go. We good? Your mom? Malcolm X. Walt. Come on. Here we go. Is that everybody? Mar, T, Parkers. Is that it? Ethan, come on. Is that all? Everybody good? Who's waiting still? All right, number one. Here we go. Number one. Get ready. True or false? 2, 1. This is a canine. True or false? Nine people got that wrong. That's okay. The answer is true. Walt did it in the fastest time. Number 2. True or false? The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. True or false? True. Good job. One person got it wrong. And Mason took the lead. Malcolm X number 2, Matt Green number 3. Number 3. True or false? We got quickly. 2 molecules of hydrogen, 1 molecule of oxygen create water. True or false? That's everybody. Go. All right. It's true. True. Here we go. Number 4. True or false? 2 plus 2 equals 4. True or false? As soon as we get to 42, go to the next one. Or is it 43 people? Go to the next one. 44 people total. All right. Somebody's really being dumb. Number 5. The Statue of Liberty is in New York City. True or false? True or false? 43 people. Somebody's intentionally missing them. All right, so far Malcolm X is killing it. Number 6, here we go. The Hummingbird egg is the world's smallest bird egg. True or false? Oh, got a couple misses on that one. All right, number 8. No, 7. It takes a sloth 2 weeks to digest a meal. True or false? That's everybody. True or false? It is true. All right. 2 more. 3 more. Just kidding. Dumbo is the shortest Disney film. True or false? I just saw somebody cheating. They're like going, here we go. True or false? The answer is true. We're seeing a pattern here. Number 9. We got a gift card for the winner, by the way. Infants have more bones than adults. True or false? Oh, look at that baby. Come on. Couple more. Yep, that's all of them, I think. What's the answer? True. And last. Wait a minute, drum roll. Number 10, y'all ready? True or false? LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time. True or false? True or false? True or false? All right, the answer is definitely false. Definitely false. False. Now, why did we have 9 true questions and 1 false question? That's not the reason. All 9 questions were, listen, absolutely true. Okay? They were objectively true. There's no doubt. They were factual, okay? But the last one, what was different about the last one? It was an opinion. I think Michael Jordan's the best ever, always will be. Point is, that was an opinion. So that's where I wanted to draw that point home. Opinions, feelings, perspectives, and preferences are subjective. Jesus is not. And if our morals and beliefs and ethics and decisions and dreams are based off of someone's opinion, someone's thoughts, someone's preferences, we're in a lot of trouble. Something that's objective is true for all people. It's not true for you. And I'm getting there. I think it's on your handout. Look at the, all right, facts are facts. Right is right. 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus 2 is not 5, right? It's right for all people. What would happen if 2 plus 2 is 5 for some people, to our economy, right? To your finances, to your mortgages. Well, you don't have mortgages. On the other hand, listen, on the other hand of absolute truth, there's a thing called relativism or relative truth. It is deceptive. It is not biblical, okay? This line of thinking is true. Truth changes based on individuals' understanding and beliefs. What's true for you, you might have heard this said before. What's true for you, Kenzie, is not necessarily true for me. You know, what you believe may not be what I believe, and that's okay. What you understand it takes for a person to go to heaven is not what I understand it takes for. That's not the. Okay, you see what I'm saying? That's what can happen when we get into this relative truth and this relativism. What's true for me could not possibly be true for. It could mean that, you can't tell them they can't go into that store, bash in the window, and steal a TV. They wanted to do it. It was what made them happy. You can't tell that woman she can't kill that baby inside of her belly because that's her choice. It's her opinion. It's her preference. You see where we're getting, guys? Do you see that I'm speaking truth? That happens in our culture now. People bash in windows of stores and steal television and say it's right. I don't care what you say. I can do what I want to do. I can kill an unborn baby in my belly, and it's not murder. It's my body. Okay, that's where we get when we don't adhere to absolute truth in the words of God's and the word that God speaks in His truth of the word of Scriptures. Right? It creates the freedom to do and to believe whatever one wants, and that's dangerous.